Hey guys, welcome back to another week of Ticket Tuesday. I'm your host, Ron HD. So yeah, this is going to be a great time. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Ticket Tuesday. I'm your host, Ron HD, and today we watched Knock at the Cabin, the new M. Night Shyamalan movie starring Dave Bautista. And to be honest, since I'm not a big fan of modern Shyamalan or Shyamalan in general, I wasn't a big fan of this film. I found the story rather lackluster and not really much to write home about. However, I enjoyed the concept. I really liked the idea of it, but I just didn't think it was executed properly. You know, I just think it wasn't executed very well, and I think it could have been done better. And apparently this was based on a book that I'm never going to read, but maybe I should. But I don't know. I mean, Bautista was all right. I think he didn't say much. He just kind of said variations of the same thing over and over again. So, yeah. And before I say more of nothing, I'll tell you why I didn't really care for this film and more back at the house.
We were called and are united by a common vision, which has now become a command that we cannot ignore. The four of us are here to prevent the apocalypse. Your family has been chosen to make a horrible decision. If you fail to choose, the world will end.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Ticket Tuesday. I'm your host, Ron HD, and this week we watched A Knock at the Cabin. It was directed by M. Night Shyamalan. It is based on the book known as, I think it's called A Cabin at the End of the World, I believe, and it's starring Dave Bautista and the guy who played Ronald Weasley in the Harry Potter movies. Just thought that's something to mention. I like that. I haven't seen them in a while, but now watching this movie, I want to watch them again. But, yeah, this film, obviously being by Shyamalan, it's like a thriller, and it's got all that going on. And, personally, I wasn't a huge fan of it. Like, I'm not a huge fan of Shyamalan to begin with, especially not modern Shyamalan, to really be precise. But I do feel as if the movie didn't surprise me. I'll get into the ending in a bit, but the most surprising part of the movie was that Bautista was in the first 2 minutes. And he was just there, and they started up in the home invasion and everything. They jumped right into the movie. And usually I'm a fan of that, and I am here. And then it looks like a home invasion and all that. But, to be honest, I like that it jumped in. But I didn't care. I always say this, but if I have a hard time caring for characters in a movie, and that's because I have trouble getting gripped into a story as short as this. Usually a film that's like 90 to 100 minutes in length. Like, if you need, like, I don't know. I just usually have a problem getting developed with a character like that in that short amount of time. And I feel like I just didn't really care at the beginning of this movie. I mean, I kind of cared later on, not that much, but I kind of cared later on. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But, yeah, the movie just jumped into it, didn't dick around for like 45 minutes at the house with the family, and then, like, when the movie's almost over, like, halfway through, then Bautista comes in and he does all that. Like, Bautista's in the whole movie. But, I mean, yeah, the film, like, the whole thing about the film is, like, is Bautista and the people, like, that he's with, are they faking it? Are they just crazy, or is it real? Like, is it actually the apocalypse, or they just like in a doomsday cult, stuff like that. But the thing is, I knew the ending because the trailer shows you, which I noticed in the trailer there was a shot of the news which was in the movie, but they showed it in one of the trailers. And it would have been better of them not to show that, because in the trailer it would have been better to think maybe they are crazy. But if you show me that footage from the news of like people dying in like hellfire or whatever, yeah, I'm gonna think that they're not, that they're being serious, you know. And that's the thing. I'm not even gonna touch modern trailers. I was about to go on a rant. I don't want to go on a rant about modern trailers, but yeah. So spoiler warning for the next bit of the movie. I'm gonna explain the plot. So if you don't want this movie spoiled, I'd recommend to go out, watch this film, and then come back. But basically, Bautista breaks in. He kind of is trying to convince one of the family members to kill another one so that they can prevent the apocalypse, and it's kind of a back and forth between Bautista's group and the family. And the film, aside from a couple flashbacks, consists mainly inside the cabin, except from a few shots outside, but mainly inside the cabin. So eventually a lot of like Bautista's group are killing one another to kind of like prove a point, or like something like that, like to show them the loss, show the family the loss and stuff like that. And eventually by the end of the movie, Bautista's the only one left and the rest of them have died. And then he tells the dads that that they need to make a choice, and then himself. And oh wait, am I allowed to say that on YouTube? Whatever. I'm not making money here anyway. But it could get age restricted. Like, bleep that out or something. He commits not alive. I think that's good to say. I didn't say it, Susan. You don't have evidence. But please don't take away my channel. But yeah. He commits not alive, and then the parents, the dads, he ends his time on this earth and becomes one with the soil. That's family friendly. But yeah. Then one of the dads is a believer and the other one isn't. He's like a huge skeptic. And like one of the dads, the believer, he's like believing them. He's kind of believing it, and then the other one is totally not believing it at all. And then at the end of the movie, the skeptic has to kill the dad, because that's like the skeptic has to kill the other one, because that's how it works to stop the apocalypse. It has to work, and he kills him, and it looks like it might not have worked, but then they turn on the TV at like a diner, and it's like, oh, there was like a plague and a tsunami, and like a really bad, like these planes were just falling out of the sky. It was absolutely ridiculous, because there was like a shot with Bautista sitting in the chair, and you could just see you could just see a CGI plane just falling in the air. It was great. And I also love the first words that Bautista spouts to the dads and the family when he breaks into their houses. We're here to prevent the apocalypse. That's the first thing he says. I just found it really funny. It's like, you're just getting right to it, okay? But yeah. The dad dies. The other dad dies. He kills him, and they drive into a diner, and then after they see that they prevented the apocalypse, they get in their car and they drive away, and then the movie ends. And personally, I think the concept, and also, by the way, I forgot to mention, Bautista and his group are like the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, and that's an interesting idea. But I think the concept is more interesting than the execution. I just feel like it could have been way better, and it had a lot more potential. in my opinion. I really enjoyed the concept and the ideas that the movie had more than really the movie itself. So, yeah. And if you really, I mean, if you're a Shyamalan fan, I mean, you'd probably get some enjoyment out of this. But for anybody else, I don't know. I wouldn't go out of your way to watch it personally. But if you think you like it, knock yourself out. Yeah, I think I'd rate this film like a 6. 6 out of 10. Not much to write home about. I don't know. Just didn't really feel anything about it strong. I didn't feel any strong emotions about it either or. I mean, it wasn't awful. It wasn't amazing. It was just kind of there. It was okay. So, I think, yeah. I think I've said my piece. I think I've said what I need to say. So guys, I hope you like this video. You know, you share with your friends, subscribe, turn notifications on. Comment down below on how much you liked it. But I didn't really mean to say that. What I really meant to say was, I hope you guys hated this video. Unsubscribe, dislike, and tell me how much you hate me in the comments. Signing off.